Miss Reza,
Okay,
could you turn on your camera, Miss?
okay. Wait.
All right, Mr. Roy, we are waiting for the preparation of the student, Mr.
It's okay.
Okay, Mr. Roy. How are you today, Mr. Roy?
I am fine. Thank you very much.
Okay,
How about you?
I'm good here. Where are you right now, Mr.?
I'm in my course actually.
All right, is that your course behind you?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah. It's called Bully House Fluency Center.
Oh, Bule House. Where is the place, sir? I've ever
Uh,
come to Pare, but I never come to your course before.
I'm near Krishna Timor.
Near Krishna?
You know Krishna Timor, the second part of
Krishna.
Krishna.
Okay, what's the street, sir?
Bringing.
All right. Oh, I know that.
I've been in Perry for 10 years actually.
What, sir? Pardon
I've
me?
been I've been here for 10 years.
Oh,
My course is famous for speaking.
okay. All right. Miss Reza, I give it back to you, Miss Reza.
Okay, we begin our agenda today. Excellency, the Director of SMA Trensains Muhammadiyah Sragen, Mr. Fahroni MPD, Honorable Webinar Speaker Mr. Roy P.Tugmon Jr, respected teacher from Kampung English Jogja, and my beloved audience. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Alhamdulillah wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi amma ba'du. First of all, let us thank Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala who has given us guidance, happiness, health, and mercy so we can attend and perceive in this special event without any obstacles. Salawat and salam upon our Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam who brought us from the darkness to the path of light in this life. I, Reza Prameswari, will be master of ceremony for today's event, guiding you through the agenda. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let us proceed to the first agenda. Let's begin this event by reciting Basmalah together. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Dear audience, we, the students of SMA Trensains Muhammadiyah Sragen, are beginners in learning English. This institute focuses on technology, mathematics, chemistry, physics, biology, and the cosmic affairs of the Holy Quran. We have the great need for the English language and still have guidance and motivation to learn it. English is the global language, and as a result, it has become essential in international business, education, communication, medicine, science, technology, law, and more. Okay, and I would like to welcome Mr. Roy P.Tugmon Jr. as our webinar speaker today, and he come from the USA and is currently the teacher in the Bule House in Paris. Okay, without further ado, let's start the webinar, which will be delivered by Mr. Roy. The time is yours.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon,
Okay.
sir.
So the question that you gave me was, what do you think about English? So this is a question for all of you and for your students. What do you think about English? Is English important or not? Okay. Whoop, drop my phone. Okay. English is the language of the modern world. Important for jobs when we need, and plus when we meet other people from other countries. Sometimes we have a habit of not being able to understand um, communication because of accent, um, different pronunciation from like British, Australian, Canadian, American, Africa. Uh, Also, what is very important too in the language is to learn culture and habits. Okay. Culture is very important because maybe the way we dress, the way we speak, um, the freedom that we have compared to what is here in Indonesia. So, my question to you is what do you think is the main problem in Indonesia about English? Okay. So, what I've noticed is students really focus in grammar. They don't focus in the speaking ability or the habits of being able to practice every day. Sometimes we just use textbook in class and we don't practice outside of class. So we learn structure, we learn textbook technology. So when many of you that can speak English now as teachers know also how easy English can be by practicing. If we practice every day, our speaking ability becomes better and better. But if we don't practice every day, we forget vocabulary, we forget structure, we forget grammar. We need to learn how to read, we need to learn how to write, we need to listen to music, movies, podcasts, we need to set goals, we need to have a study plan. So everything outside of class, just like you learn Bahasa. You learn Bahasa before you entered your class, before you enter school. You were fluent in Bahasa, but when you entered your school, you started to learn structure. You learned vocabulary. You learned the meaning of your words, just like how we did when we learned English when we were children. English is very important in the modern world, but 10 years ago when I came into Indonesia, English wasn't that important. They kept putting English in schools, out of school, in school, out of school. But now Indonesia is starting to understand how important it is to learn the language for jobs, to go abroad for university, to meet foreigners. Um, Many foreigners meet and marry Indonesian women. If you cannot speak Bahasa or you cannot speak English, then how do you communicate with each other? Communication is the main key. How to understand a conversation. The students that are sitting in front of me that are studying English, do not be afraid to make mistakes. You will learn from your mistakes. The teachers are there to help you to understand. Like in my place, I do not use translation, sorry to say. I don't do memorization. I teach I teach you how to use the language, not to memorize the language. Daily daily activities. So if you have a problem, always talk with your teachers. Don't be afraid, okay? If you are afraid to speak a different language, you will never learn. Your friends will go abroad and you will just sit at home and do nothing. You will be jealous. You have many friends, you have many teachers that will help you. There are many, I think, many courses there in Yogyakarta, but I don't think you have to take a private course because you have some teachers here that can speak English well. Learn from them. Put a study club together in your school. The only thing is, don't force the student to speak English if they do not want. You'll make them afraid. Okay. So I have um, experience in this situation because when I first come here, everybody was afraid of me because I don't speak Bahasa. I don't speak Jawa. I teach English using. I use English. I teach English 100%. No translation. And I understand Bahasa. I understand Jawa. But since I am part of the English department in the education of Indonesia, they're happy that I don't follow other foreigners. So, in my opinion, English is easy. It's not that difficult. Don't look for accents. Accents will confuse you. Like I said, just listen to the conversation. If you don't understand the conversation or the question, ask them to repeat it slowly, but only ask them one time. Okay? If you have, like I said, if you have a study club inside your school, learn how or teach the student how to learn by whole sentence, not just word by word. Teach them vocabulary outside of the class. Take them outside, set them in the field, teach them vocabulary without memorization. It will be fun for them because they will never forget. English is fun, but there are many languages now that are important in the world. English is not just number one anymore. Here where I am, there are many courses: Arabic, English, Mandarin, German, Japanese. So many different languages. Choose the language that you want to learn. Go abroad, study, work. Everybody wants to make money, but to make good money, you have to have English for that. Speaking. We learn how to speak when we are young. We learn mistakes. We learn by listening, by our parents repeating and repeating and repeating until we start to finally be able to talk. We learn how to read. We always get stuck in the reading because we don't understand the grammar and it confuses us, it scares us. Then we learn how to write. Writing with grammar is different than speaking with grammar. In grammar, you learn 16 tenses. We don't use all 16 tenses. Learning idiom and slang and expression is part of the language. When I say set goals or set study plan, set your goal. What is your goal? Is your goal to go abroad? Is your goal to go to a good university? Study plan. How many times a day must you study English? 30 minutes, 1 hour, 2 hours. The study plan is up to you what to study, how to study. But it's always good to study with friends. You can learn English on your own, yes. Practicing. That's a scary word, right? Practice, right? Scary word. Practice, 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 practice. Practice makes perfect. You practice basketball, baseball. You practice reciting the Quran all day long. You learn how to speak Arabic. Don't be afraid of the English language. I know that in Jakarta, Georgia area, there are many foreigners there. They have their own community there. Practice your English with them. Don't be afraid to say hello, how are you today? They will answer you. Just remember, don't ask personal questions. Okay? Communication. How do we communicate? Ideas. How about ideas? Conversation. Hello, good morning. How are you? I'm fine. Thank you. Many people have a problem and make a mistake of when they say, hello, how are you? I'm fine, and you? Don't do that. I'm good, I'm great, I'm fantastic, I'm sick, I'm hungry. Kind of make it funny. But the language is not so serious. Wow, I see a little one. Okay. Uh, so, and one day, after this uh, webinar, one day I will make a plan. My plan is to come visit you in your school. You will never know. Only the teacher will know. I will make a surprise. Or maybe you visit me here in Perry. Who knows? So, for me to you, I give you my experience of what I've done for 10 years. I focus in speaking, pronunciation, vocabulary, reading, writing, listening. I don't focus in the grammar world, but I will teach you grammar if I have to. Grammar is scary because there's so many different parts of grammar. If you make a mistake in grammar, we will understand. Don't learn English just to change your accent. Please do not do that. Be yourself. You're Javanese, I think, right? Whatever your accents are or your mother language is. What is your mother language in Jakarta? Java?
Yes, Javanese language.
Oh, Java. So if you are Javanese, don't lose your accent. I've been with my wife 10 years. My wife is Javanese, and she doesn't sound like me. She speaks Java English. If you come to me and say, Mr. Roy, can you please change my accent? I'm going to tell you go study somewhere else because I'm not here to do that. That's not me being arrogant. That's just me telling you how I feel. You're Indonesian. You should love your country, not change your accent just to be somebody that you're not. Just like me, when I went home in 2021, I started to speak with my mom, my sister, my friends, and they told me my English was broken and I had a funny accent because I'm around Javanese all day long and many students from different parts of Indonesia. So, my suggestion to all the student watching me, practice. Don't be afraid. I don't know how many times in a week that you have English inside your school. How many times a week inside the school you teach English there?
3 times a week, three
Oh, three
hours.
times, 3 hours in a week.
Yes.
So 1 hour for 3 days, or
Yeah,
3 hours.
1 hour for 3 days.
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
But we have a discipline of to speak English in daily life. So,
Okay, okay.
in the room, in the home, in their daily activity.
So do they? So is your school Islamic boarding school?
Yes,
Oh, so they live there.
yes,
Oh, okay, okay.
and they must speaking English language.
Oh, okay, okay. I didn't know. I thought it was just a regular school. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but the grammar is many of us haven't understand well in their speaking without grammar.
Grammar comes naturally, ma'am. Um, if you have a grammar teacher that is teaching grammar by using Bahasa, it's the same grammar you already know. So if you have a teacher that can teach it in English to make it a little bit more clearer, they will probably understand it more. Um, if the student are speaking broken, hello, my name is, I come from in Jakarta, instead of I'm from Jakarta, then you must show them the mistake. And many students are like that, and it's okay. I can walk into your school probably right now, and they will all make a mistake. It's okay. I will understand because I trained my ears since I've been in Perry. I trained my ears for basic and passive student. My course here is a high advanced English course for worker, for university student, but I get all level. I get children from elementary, senior high, university also. So, and many people have a question, or they question me, Mister, how can you teach children? It's easy. I'm not afraid of them. It's easy for me. Okay. So, and this is for the teachers also, and for the headmaster of the school also. Don't be afraid of your student. Because if you're afraid of your student, the student will be afraid of you. When you're in your class, I don't know your teachers if they're here. If you are teaching, teach it your way. Even though you have curriculum you must follow, make the class fun. Don't be so serious in front of the student. Play games with them with vocabulary. Play games with speaking. Play games with grammar. Mix up sentences and let them figure out how to put them back together. Habits. Everybody has a habit. Some students may be lazy. Some students might be fussy. But the silent student is the ones that you have to be careful with because the silent student won't stay silent very long. Have you guys have ever had any foreigner inside your course before? From there, from Jakarta, come visit you, Miss Riza?
Can you repeat, Mister? Can you repeat, sir?
Uh, yeah. Have you ever had any foreigner visit you in your school before?
I think no.
You think no?
Yes.
I want to be the first.
Yes.
I want to be the first one. Okay. We will talk about that in another time. Okay. So I know you guys have a big agenda today, and so my part was just to ask what do you think about English and about how to study. So the education in Indonesia now requires English. But what happens is when I get students from the English department in Indonesia, they still cannot speak. They're just grammar majors, and that's scary. So with me speaking with you, Miss Riza, I can say you have good English actually.
No, I haven't. I need to
I
learn.
under see I understand. I understand you though. That's the point.
I need to learn so much.
I think everybody is not too old to stop learning. Okay. So for your teachers that are here, I don't know how many teachers you have. One, two, three, four. I think maybe. If you are the English teachers, please respect your student. Be funny with your student. Teach the class your way. Get your student to speak outside of class. Don't force them to do something that they don't want to do. If you have a rule about speaking English inside your school or inside their dormitory, don't give them punishment because they're not following the rule. They're children. Like me in my course, I just make one rule. I have I have camps here in my course, and I just make the rule: speak English or get out. But I never punish my student. I never kick them out either. I just say that, and they just okay. Now, many people will ask me this question: how do I teach? I just don't teach Indonesian students. I teach Thailand student also that study in Indonesia also, and I don't speak Thai. I teach students from Libya that study in Malang. I don't speak Arabic. I get students from Japan. I don't speak Japanese. I use 100% English and I give the student 100% of my time daily, except for when I'm sleeping. From from 6 o'clock in the morning till 10 o'clock at night, I'm with my student. We go to coffee together, we go to dinner together, we go to movies together, we go to the parks together, and we just practice English everywhere we go. People say I'm arrogant because if I can produce good speaking student and send a student abroad for work or for university, I'm happy. Testing your student every other week in your classes, that's a good thing to do. Give them a vocabulary test. I don't know who your English teacher is here. Don't let them memorize from a book. Memorizing word by word, they will never remember. Take them outside, like I said. Set them out in the grass. Tell them to focus on everything that they see and write it down. Your students will start to produce 50 to 100 student or 100 vocabulary words per week. At the final 2 weeks, 3 days a week in class, your second week maybe the second Friday, give them a vocabulary test of 100 vocabulary. Give them 5 minutes. No, I'm kidding. You got to give them at least 30 minutes for 100. How I know this is my trick, this is my method to you. I never tell my method to anyone. My method is I take my student outside of the class for vocabulary. I bring them right back into the class and they must give me 50 vocabulary the same day. No books. I don't use any books inside my class. Except for if we're watching a movie or if we're listening to the music or watching a podcast, and then I have them retell. It's a good thing too. Ms. Riza, I show you this book. See this book right
Okay,
here?
sir.
Can you see this book?
Okay.
If you ever come to Perry, you can find this book here.
Okay, sir.
And they're books for the student to read. They're stories, all in English, and they have some of the stories have vocabulary behind them also, so they can know about the vocabulary. These are really good books for student to be able to retell stories to
Okay.
retell. You can probably find the book online also. I don't really know. Uh, so if you have any English books inside your school that are short stories, have the students start to look for short story, read the story, retell the story. Read, retell. Retell means what they understand, like that. Your student will become more interactive with English. They will start to like the language more. But if we force it and force it and force it like they kind of do here in Perry, they don't like. So I don't know if you've had any experience in Georgia with the foreigner or not, but with me being in Perry, many students are afraid to speak with me because they're afraid to make mistakes. So maybe one day you take your student to the area where the foreigner are and let them practice their English with them. If the foreigner allow, I don't know because I know they have their own community there, and I will talk with my wife about coming to visit you guys there. I've never been to Jakarta, so it would be a really good experience for me also. It would be great. So, any questions from anyone?
Okay. Is there any question from a male student or female student in masjid, or maybe from another?
Okay, I will be the first. Wait, can I?
Okay, Mr. Toba, the time is yours.
Okay, good to see you, Mr. Roy.
Good to see you too, sir.
Okay, I've been hearing your explanation and I am agree with your explanation on two things. The first is grammar comes next. Uh, let's take first. And then the second is accent is important and
What's
not let lose our accent.
exactly that, sir?
Yeah. And I believe that if we learn a language, we also learn the value of the culture.
Right.
Yeah. So, would you like to explain to us what culture from the West that appropriate for us to apply in Indonesia? Just two.
Um, culture in the West.
Yeah, the value.
Oh, the value
Yeah, the value of the West that
that you.
appropriate to be applied in Indonesia.
I would say maybe habits, because a lot of Indonesian people, I'm sorry to say this, are lazy. I'm sorry to say. Um, maybe try to figure out, like me, I don't use an alarm clock to wake up in the morning. If somebody says, "Hey, Mr. Roy, can you come here at 8 o'clock in the morning?" I'm there. I'm there 30 minutes before. Another part of, I'll give you a negative. Don't focus on their attitudes. Okay. So you have a plus, you have a negative. Um, the way we dress, I guess, our style, maybe. Don't. I mean, it's already here in Indonesia anyway, especially in Bali. But there's not a lot of American in Bali. It's more Australian and German or whatever. But um, We can't bring our food to Indonesia. Well, it's already here, but let's see what else. What can I say? Well, we have freedom of speech, and also in the Western, in our country, is if you would understand what I'm going to say, church and state are separate. Okay, it doesn't. We like in my English course here, I don't talk about religion at all. Um, but a lot of Westerners come in here with that kind of attitude. I don't like. Uh, be open minded. Be open minded. Don't be judgmental. Don't judge a book by its cover. Um, I've been doing this for 10 years. I've had two bad experiences here in Perry. Actually, I had three boys try to kill me. Actually, and then I got denied to go pray in mosque because I have tattoos, and that was during Ramadan. And so I go to a different mosque, no problem. And I explained to the imam what happened, and he was angry. And so I think pretty much everything is about attitude, really. Attitude about character, attitude. Maybe your students see, uh, they watch a movie, and one student goes, "Oh, I want to be just like him." Maybe they like what they see. Maybe he's got a really good personality. Maybe he's funny. Maybe he's not ashamed of his appearance. Many Indonesian have, I would say, they're not ashamed about their appearance, but maybe the way they dress. Maybe they think, oh, why do I have to dress like this every day? In America, no uniform to go to school. We don't have to, when we don't go to school 6 days a week. We go 5 days a week. But we study from 8 in the morning till 3 in the afternoon every day. Uh, let's see. What else can I give you? Everybody thinks the grass is greener on the other side, but it's not. You know, I was born and raised in America, and I love Indonesia. I love to be here. I'm respected here. I respect everybody that I'm around every day. Uh, Even though they're arrogant to me, I'm not arrogant back. I just let it go. So I think it's just about because America is big. There's 50 different states in America, and everybody is different. Everybody's lifestyle is different. Here in Indonesia, the families are really, really close. In the US, families aren't that close. I When I came to Indonesia, I didn't talk to my family for almost 10 years. Hardly ever. Sometimes by video call or text. And then when I went home, yeah, it was a different story. When I went home, everything different. Way of life. Oh yeah. Here's a kicker for you. Our police in America are not afraid to do their job. Here in Indonesia, the police don't do their job very well. I'm sorry to say, but I'm just giving you some different culture, uh, different culture. Food different, yes. Um, is it hard to find food for Muslim in the United States? No, it's not easy. Right now in Indonesian that are going abroad to the United States are all over now, but New York, Philadelphia, Tennessee has the most, almost almost 10 to 15 million now. So, and then yeah, they're learning the culture too, and many of my students that are abroad are still confused with the culture. Why are the women so free to dress the way they want to? why the men can drink and smoke and do everything that they want to do. So yeah, cultures are different actually. That's why I like the culture in Indonesia because it's so calm. It's not so rush, rush, rush. You must in America. You must work. You must make money. You have bills to pay. Expensive there. Here in Indonesia, you pay contract 1 year. In America, we pay every month. So we could be paying almost 2,000 USD every month for an apartment. You still have to buy food. You still have to pay your water. You still pay your gas. You still pay your electricity. To drive car, you must have insurance. To drive motorcycle, you must have insurance. If you don't have none, you cannot drive. If you don't have no driver's license, you cannot drive. So those are the rules of the U.S. But they're not strict rules. They're just rules. If you're driving your car without a driver's license, you can say bye bye to your car. Your car will go away. If you don't pay your fine, you will go to jail. You can't pay the police. Oh, here, mister, here's 100,000. You cannot do that. Yeah. You know, my friend, I mean, is the Rama English course there in Jakarta in Jogja, Rama. I think the manager, one of the tutors is one of my good friends from the English village, and then I think the management, he's one of my good friends also there for Raman English course in Jogja. But I know there's many courses there now. I know LC is there. I know Global is there. So, but you guys have your own English teachers inside that school. They don't need to go to no private institution to learn English. Be patient with your student, please. Let them learn. Enjoy your teaching with them. If you guys have any questions about anything, don't hesitate to text me and ask me. I will help you as much as possible. That's my gift to you, and I will visit you as soon as possible. Also, any other? What do they call you, sir? Your name?
Yes, I think it is enough. I will let the student ask you for
Okay.
question.
Okay, no problem.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Toba. The name
Oh,
is
Toba.
Mr. Toba. Yes. Okay, so the next, is there any question from student? Jasmine, Ariahana, or maybe another? Okay, please ask to our speaker today. Okay, Mr. How make the student want to speak, because many student is a passive and shy like that.
Help them build their confidence.
They
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. So, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
So, I have two questions. The first one
Okay,
is,
please. Your name. Your name.
okay, my name is Hannah, and I'm from 12th grade.
From
Okay, so,
where?
12th grade,
From where?
12th grade.
12th grade. 12th grade, sir. 12th
Oh,
grade.
okay. Okay, okay, okay. Okay, I'm ready.
Okay, so I have two questions. The first one is, How do we practice when we're alone? Like, um, for example, we don't have anyone to correct our language. And the second is, I've been studying English my whole life, but I can't seem to wrap my head around grammar. So, how do we um, actually understand grammar? Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay. The first one, you can practice by yourself. You have a mirror inside your room. Listen to music, shadow, do learn how to shadow, not repeat but shadow what people say. Walk around your dormitory speaking English by yourself. Um, don't worry about somebody correcting you as you're speaking by yourself. You will learn about your mistakes on your own. Now, about how to understand grammar. That's a good question. I didn't know anything about grammar until I came to Indonesia, even though I speak English fluently and grammar is in my language. I speak it fluent. You speak well, I can tell. Don't worry about how to understand the grammar because if you start to think about the rule of grammar, oh, did I speak in the past? Did I speak in the future? Is this past particle? You're going to lose your speaking ability. Don't be afraid to make the mistake because foreigners like me will understand you. You don't have to, if you've been studying English all your life, you do not have to be perfect in English to go abroad. You don't have to have, your English doesn't have to be perfect to go to university. I guarantee you right now, if you decided to take IELTS, you would pass with a high score because you can speak well. In your school, with you learning English, you should have already known about the structure of the language, of how to use it, not to memorize it. Remember, no memorization. Learn how to use. When I come visit you one day, hopefully before you graduate, I will teach all of you how to use the language. I will show you. It's so easy. Don't be afraid of your mistakes. Keep your confidence high. Understand? Anna?
Okay, enough, Arya, Hannah, or
Yes.
is there any more question?
That's enough for me. Thank you, sir.
So you understand, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, are there any question from female student or male student? Okay, please. Don't be afraid. Don't be shy.
I don't bite. Wow, seems like you have one girl that speaks English very well actually.
Okay, thank you, sir.
It has become more intimidating because you are white, sir.
Hey, it shouldn't matter if I'm white, blue, green or yellow. We're all the same just because
Yes,
I have
but
white skin.
the students, most of them are shy to speak, even to
Yes.
ask teachers, and now you are the native one, so it has become more challenge for them.
I can get them to get up and speak, but I'm not there.
Yes,
If I if
We
I
would
was
like.
if I was there, they wouldn't have a problem. I would show you how easy it is for you.
Okay.
Right. I mean, if they don't want to speak right now to me, it's okay. I'm not gonna cry. You know, it's just we have to. I mean, I don't know how long they've been learning English, and like you said, yeah, maybe this is their first time ever speaking with a native like me. Um, just help them build their confidence. Once they have confidence, they won't be afraid. If they make a mistake in front of you, let them make it. If they come to your office and they speak Bahasa to you, say, please speak English to me, please. Um, or Arabic or whatever, because you have three different languages inside there right now, Bahasa, Arabic, and English. So if they're only practicing English 3 times a day, but they have to speak English every day, and then they must speak Arabic every day, it's confusing for the student. Which one to speak first? So just give them time, let them grow. Uh, like the girl that just spoke with me right now, she's really good in English. She needs to help her friends. She needs to help the student that struggle like that.
Okay, there is one question from our student.
Yes.
Okay.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Yes. I will ask about how how we know about pronunciation of the word. I mean, like the to read to read in English is hard to do. So, did you do you have tips for read something which we haven't know, like how to improve our pronunciation in English? Thank you.
Practice. Don't use tongue twisters. Tongue twisters will make you confused. Practice the word. Practice saying the word over and over and over. Um, I get this a lot in Perry that teachers or tutors, sorry, or coaches put letters where they don't belong and they pronounce the word wrong. Learn how to study the American, the T, what they say, or uh, there's many tips on YouTube if you're allowed to use your phones, which I know you're probably not. The teachers can download the videos for you guys also, and you guys can watch the videos of how pronunciation works. Pronunciation is just practice, 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 practice. Um, for instance, if you in your class, if the teacher is doing pronunciation and they pronounce good, G-O-O-D, that's wrong. You have to pronounce each letter, G-O-O-D, D, not T, D, D, sorry, G-O-D-D, good, not G-O-O-D. That's wrong pronunciation. So learn pronunciation on your own. Um, yeah, pronunciation could be hard because of your accent. You're never going to be perfect in your pronunciation. What you said to me right now, I understand you. So just kind of try to stay as clear as possible when you speak. And if you make a pronunciation mistake, your teacher should be able to help you correct it, actually. But from what I understand and what I hear, many of the teachers are learning English just like you are. Like Miss Riza needs help, she said. So everybody learns together. Everybody speaks together. Everybody enjoys studying a language together. Just like I don't know your name, but if you started to learn Arabic and you are reading the Quran and you make many, many mistakes. How often does the teacher get angry to you because you make a mistake? Probably often. Hey, you're making a mistake. It's like this, it's like this, it's like this, it's not like that. I never do that, ever. Just practice. Practice, practice. Shadow the word, write it over and over and over till it gets stuck in your head. Just walk around your school trying to pronounce it. What's the word? Give me a word.
Okay, there is another question, Mr.
Yes.
From male student.
Okay.
Okay, please tell your name.
Okay. Hello, Mr. Roy. Can you hear
Hello.
my voice?
Yeah, sometimes you're in, out, but I'm trying to hear you.
Yeah. My name is Fida Ismail. Okay. It's very nice to see you, Mr. Roy. Seeing a native speaker. For our school here in Trensains, Sragen. I have two questions for you, Mr. Roy.
Yes. Yes.
How do you maintain such consistency in teaching English, and why did you choose Indonesia as your teaching place? Yeah, thank you. I think that's all.
Mm. I'll answer the second one for you. So the reason why I came to Indonesia is because my wife is Indonesian, and at the time it was so difficult to take her to the U.S. So easier for me to come here. And then the first one, what I didn't really get the first question. How do I teach English or a consistency? I think they have bad signal there.
Okay, Fida.
I didn't hear the I wasn't it wasn't clear on the first question because it was in and out.
If I'm not mistaken, he asks you how do you maintain your teaching consistency?
Oh, how do I manage?
How you would you manage your consistency?
By not being lazy. Um, I teach. I give the student, or I do what the student wants. Um, like I said, many of my students are workers and university students. If they are elementary, junior high, high school student, and they are a passive student, it takes 100% of my body to be able to teach them. What I mean is my energy, uh, to get them to not be afraid of me, about how they can learn vocabulary so quickly, how to build their confidence is how to build their confidence is number one for me. Confidence. If the student has no confidence, they're difficult to teach. So I struggle just like everybody else. Um, but I love what I do. I would never I would never stop doing what I'm doing here unless I went back home. If I went back home, yeah, I just have a normal job. But uh, I love teaching. I have my own technique, my own method. So like I said, it does take a lot out of my energy. It takes a lot of energy for me. Um, do I get angry? Sometimes yes. Sometimes yes. because sometimes the student just want to play a game. You know, they think that, oh, I'm in an English course, I'm not good enough. I just play with my handphone, or I just talk with my friend. Uh, there's no such thing as a basic student. They're all passive students. So if you can say, hello, good morning, mister, how are you? My name is, I come from, you can speak, but not fluently, yes, I understand. You will see. You will see how I am when I come there and I'm with all of you in one room, of how much energy it takes me to get all of you to pay attention. I don't stand still. Sorry, I'm not a teacher that just stands in front of a whiteboard to teach you. I don't use my whiteboard in my classroom very often. Um, I'm everywhere. I run around everywhere. I'll run around the classroom, and I ask you many questions, and you must answer. It's just so easy. I just
Okay.
give Miss I just give Miss Riza some more tips.
Okay, thank you. For the last question, for the last question,
Bismillah. Good afternoon, sir.
please tell the name.
So my name is Salsa.
Elsa.
So I'm a part of language section where our job is control our friends and junior language. So do you have any tips how to teach and control their language, especially for speaking? Thank you.
Okay, so if you are in charge of a group of student, like I don't know if you how to control. You can't control anyone. All you are is a mentor to them. You're not their parent, for instance, but how to control them to practice their English daily. Never get angry to them. Just advise them, hey, we are learning English. We need to practice our English. We need to speak English as our headmaster has advised us to do. Don't disappoint the headmaster. Okay. So, as their mentor, play games with them, speaking games, vocabulary games. Get them active. If they just sit in a room and complain about, oh, I don't want to speak English because English is boring. Get them to uh, interact with you as much as possible. Don't just let them sit by themselves. Be their be their best friend. Sit there with them. Help them. Just don't walk by them and you know that they're having a problem speaking or something, and you just walk by them and, oh, miss, I have a question, and you say, ask me later. That's impolite, actually. So my advice to you: show them what you know. Show them that you can speak English too. Don't be afraid. That's my opinion.
Okay, enough for the question. Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Roy. Thank you for all of the question and thank you for the answer from Mr. Roy. Because the time is over and maybe we can meet you in another place and or another time. Or we want
Yes,
to go
ma'am.
to Paris in
Yes,
another
come see
day.
me.
Okay.
Come see me. Or I come see you first, whatever you want to do.
Okay. Thank you. Maybe
Yes.
in our holiday we want to go to Paris, so we meet you over there.
Thank you very much. I would really love that.
Okay. Okay, for the next agenda is closing. Uh, we want to say thank you for all the followers and participating in this event. So word contribution and for this webinar. And let's close our agenda today by reciting hamdalah and doa kafarah majelis. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika asyhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. Okay, thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you
Thank
very much.
you, Mr. Roy.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Bye bye,
All right.
everyone.
Thank you very much, Mr. Roy.
Yes, thank you for your time. Thank you.
Yeah, thank
Yeah, I
you.
love to.
Can you give a love sign so I want to screenshot?
Huh? Do what? What?
Can you
What?
give
What?
a love sign like Miss Reza? I want to screenshot. All of the student also. Can you? Nice. 1, 2, 3, and go. Thank you very much, Mr. and Miss.
Thank you very much
All right.
too,
Thank
Miss.
you, Miss.
I still have your contact. I still have your contact and everything. I will keep in touch with you guys to tell you whether when I come or not. I just don't want to show up there in Jakarta and show up at your school and you're like, oh my God, Mr. Roy's here. I will
Okay.
tell you. I will tell
Okay,
you before I come there.
thank you, Mr. Roy.
Yep, yep. Okay. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Okay, thank you for all the students, and you may back to your room after this agenda is submitted. Thank you.
Sen dimatiin Sen. Ya silakan yang putri langsung ke asramanya masing-masing. Indonesian language ya.
Aku sampai baca ini.
I'm Arabic teacher. Kolusi wae. Ya bro.